Hey guys, welcome to Guitar with Ed. Like I promised yesterday, I'd come back with some string bending stuff again for you. I guess that was a pretty big hint. Let me get rid of this tuner. So I guess we're in the key of G, right? And we're doing some bendy stuff. So we're going to continue with that, but we're going to talk about bending behind the nut here, this nut. And there's a few things at the end I'll talk about that are specialized for this that I found over the years that work when I'm traveling around with road bands and I'm stuck in tuk-tuk and there's I've had problems and there was no one around to help. I've had to figure some things out on my own. Anyways, so here we go. Standard licky here in country is, well, you got this little thing that's going, which is really a G. So, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to bend our fifth string here, but behind the nut bending, for those of you who don't know, is back here. And it's going to hurt. I'm not going to lie. It's going to hurt. You got to want to do this. The strings, the tension is very, very high. If you thought this was bad, wait till you try this. Because the string length is really short here. So you're going to have to use more than one finger. You're not going to be able to make it happen with one. You can make some, but my hands are strong. I've been doing this for decades. So we're going to take our, so you might recognize this from like Iron Man or something. Anyways, so that's kind of like the spiel. You can use it rock and roll wise and do whatever. Whammy bar, shmammy bar. So we're gonna go for this G lick that you got, where you hammer your first finger down on the second fret on your B note, and then pick the following string on the fourth string, your D note open. We're gonna get that without fretting it. So you're going to take more than one finger, right? And get back here. And you got to use your ears and listen and kind of have a sound in your head that you're going for in the first place. You got to know what this note sounds like in relationship to this note in your G chord. This is a nice little lick. I use it all the time. I don't even think about this one, this stock G lick. I think I can credit Tony Bandoni for showing me this years ago, decades ago. The cool thing you can do with that, and that's a starting point for you. Get that going, get brave, try it on stage a few times, see what happens. What I notice a lot of guys do, or I mean a lot of guys respond to when I'm playing with them, is at the end of a song, I'll do this. I'll hit my third string, my fourth, and my fifth string. And I'll do this idea of bending it up, but I'll do this first. I'll do harmonics. And you got yourself a nice G chord to end the song, especially when you couple that with volume a la Roy Buchanan with your volume swells, you know. You can do that with the volume swell, with your volume off first. I use it like a lot. It's a go-to for me. And there's a few other ones of those. So if you made it this far, here's a bonus lick for you. We're going to talk about our D chord now. Since we're talking about the key of G, D is the 5. D7, going back to G, right? So you have this, that some of you guys know, your D with your F sharp over D. We're going to hint at that puppy here, and I kind of did this yesterday, I believe. So what I do is bend up to the F sharp. But then I also couple that with following it with my D string open, fourth string. And you get this. So if I use it somewhere, I'll start D. I set up the G chord. Sorry I got messed up there. I wasn't really thinking. I was just playing. Yeah, so you end up with something like that, you know? And it makes a nice shot in from your D. So there you go. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the specialized things I've landed myself, I've had to figure out myself and have landed in trouble in the middle of nowhere and having to deal with. Number one, for me, this is going to go to tune this guitar because this is a couple years old, but I've never had it tweaked out aside from my own stuff, me doing it. But I need to change this nut. It's a USA California Series Tele, custom shop pickups, blah blah blah. The nut's good, but it's got the way it's filed is all your strings are sitting in a V right now. So, and that's okay for most guys' use, you know, and that works good. I destroy those nuts that are cut into a V. The last 6 months if I'm gigging all the time, and then I'm buzzing out again. It's worn right out and I'm fretting out on the guitar and there's nothing I can do about it besides get rid of the nut and make a new one. So what happens is while your string is wound, right, your low strings especially, and you can do this on high ones, which is what else I'm going to talk about. So that winding is going to, every time you do this, is going to chew away at your at your nut very minorly, but it's going to do it. And after you do this like thousands of times, it's going to give you problems, you know. That was a D7. So it's going to cause you problems. So what I found is I found a guy here in Brantford, actually, the first guy I've ever seen to do this, or told me he's doing this. Is I don't destroy his nuts though. The last one he did on my road guitar, which I'll show you, it's lasted like 5 years now, I think. So kudos to him. But so he files his more like that. It's more of a square, and you've got a nice right here. You've got a nice shelf for your string to sit on, and it's not going to wear away as fast. It's going to wear. And the other thing that I'm going to talk about here is, and this, if you bend the B string up and against your E string, you get a nice little A chord happening. I hit the A note on the bottom here, my bass, 5th string, or harmonic. It's all the same crap. But when you do stuff up here, what I'm getting at in my long-winded spiel is, you gotta watch, hopefully the little camera catches this, you gotta watch this, the string tree. This is one of these newer kind of string trees, which works. The problem is, its job is to keep the strings at a backwards angle so the strings stay in the slots, because as your length of your string goes up here, it's not as backwards of an angle. So your strings are going to pop out if it wasn't for this. Some guys have them on their 3rd and 4th strings as well. I find these taller trees cause me lots of grief on stage, and it didn't take me long to change them out once I got in this technique. Because what's going to happen is you're going to be missing your Sparty pants on stage, you know. And you're going to get this when you return, if you're not super careful here. And on stage, I know myself, I'm not a stick. I just don't stand there. I'm bouncing around having a great old time because it's my natural habitat, really. So you got to watch that. It's going to come out, and you're going to end up with horribleness. And your whole band's going to give you the stink eye on stage. That what the hell are you doing look. But it kind of goes back once you pop it in. So I'm going to change guitars here. Well, I'm not going to plug it in, but I'll show you. So I'm going to take my old G&L, which I've had on the road since, I don't know, 94 or something like that. And I've done well over a couple million miles with this thing. And it's probably not in tune. But oh well, that's guitars. Not bad. Now this guitar, you might notice I have 2 string trees, and they're both different, right? Because this is what's going to cause you problems is when you get here, all that stuff. But if I don't know if the autofocus is going to get this or not. But if you can see these little trees, what they do is they actually wrap around the string, and I basically have them. So if this is the tree, and this is my my headstock. Okay, so I guess my movie cut in half. So I don't know what we caught here, but the string trees, if you bend on the high strings, such a clean guitar compared to the other one. The string trees will give you trouble. So what I've done on this guitar, if you missed my changeover, is, I don't know if you can see the string trees here. They're a little different than the other Telecasters. They're the old school low ones. And they basically wrap right around the string like this, and headstock is like this, and there's nowhere for it to come out. That's what I'm getting to. And I can happily bend back here all day long. And it doesn't cause me grief on stage, and I'm not getting stink eye from my bandmates. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend.